When most people think about running Windows applications on Linux, the first word that comes to mind is Wine. And if you're using Linux Mint 22.3 in 2026, installing Wine the proper way is more important than ever. In this video, I'm going to walk you through not just how to install Wine on Linux Mint 22.3, but why doing it correctly actually matters. We'll talk about repositories, 32-bit architecture, security, stability, performance, and long-term maintainability. Because here's the truth. Most guides online still show outdated methods, and if you follow them blindly, you can break dependencies, slow down your system, or end up with a messy setup that causes more problems than it solves. Now, before we dive in, let's quickly understand what Wine actually is. Wine stands for Wine is not an emulator. It's not a virtual machine, and it's not full Windows running on Linux. Instead, Wine translates Windows system calls into native Linux system calls in real time. That's why it can often run Windows applications with near-native performance. On Linux Mint 22.3, which is based on Ubuntu's modern LTS base, the underlying libraries and kernel are updated enough that Wine can perform incredibly well, especially in 2026 where compatibility has improved dramatically. But here's where most beginners go wrong. They open the terminal, type sudo apt install Wine, and assume they're done. Technically, that installs something called Wine from the default repositories. But is it the latest stable version? Is it configured properly for 32-bit and 64-bit applications? Does it include recommended components? Not always. And that's exactly why installing Wine the proper way matters. Linux Mint 22.3 uses a modern Ubuntu LTS base, which means the default repositories prioritize stability over bleeding-edge software. That's good for your operating system, but Wine evolves very quickly. New versions bring better direct text translation, improved game compatibility, enhanced application support, and security fixes. In 2026, many Windows applications rely on newer APIs, and running them on an outdated Wine build can cause crashes, graphical glitches, or installation failures. The proper way to install Wine on Linux Mint 22.3 starts with understanding architecture support. Even though we live in a 64-bit world, many Windows applications still use 32-bit components. So before installing Wine, you must enable 32-bit architecture support on your system. This is done by adding the i386 architecture. Without this step, you'll encounter strange errors when trying to run certain applications, especially older software and many games. After enabling 32-bit architecture, the next step is adding the official WineHQ repository instead of relying solely on the default Mint repositories. The WineHQ repository provides stable, staging, and development branches. In 2026, the stable branch is usually the safest for general users, while staging includes experimental features and patches that may improve gaming or compatibility at the cost of stability. Adding the WineHQ repository ensures you're getting the latest tested builds directly from the Wine developers. This is critical because Linux Mint's default package versions might lag behind by months. In a fast-evolving compatibility layer like Wine, months can mean massive improvements in direct text support, Vulkan translation layers like DXVK, and bug fixes for modern software. Security is another big reason to install Wine properly. When you add official repositories with verified GPG keys, you ensure that the packages you install are authentic and untampered. In 2026, supply chain security is a major topic in the Linux world. Adding random third-party PPAs from unknown blogs is risky. The proper method uses the official WineHQ source, properly signed, so your system remains trustworthy. Once Wine is installed from the correct repository, initialization is the next important step. The first time you run Wine, it creates a Wine prefix. Think of a prefix as a miniature Windows environment stored inside your home directory. By default, Wine creates a Wine directory that acts like a virtual C drive. Inside it, you'll find program files, windows, users, and registry files. This is where your Windows applications will live. In 2026, Best practice suggests not relying solely on the default prefix for everything. Instead, it's often better to create separate prefixes for different applications. This prevents conflicts between libraries, runtime versions, and configurations. For example, one application might require an older .NET version, while another needs a newer one. If both share the same prefix, you could run into compatibility issues. Using the WineHQ environment variable, you can create isolated environments. This approach is cleaner, more stable, and much easier to troubleshoot. It's something advanced users have done for years, but in 2026 it's becoming mainstream advice even for beginners. Another reason the proper installation matters is integration with modern graphics stacks. Linux Mint 22.3 likely uses updated Mesa drivers and possibly newer NVIDIA drivers if you're on proprietary graphics. Wine heavily depends on your graphics drivers for rendering Windows applications, especially games. Installing Wine properly ensures that all recommended dependencies, including Vulkan support, are installed correctly. Vulkan in particular has changed everything. With translation layers like DXVK and VKD3D, DirectX 9, 10, 11, and even 12 games can run smoothly on Linux, but these components require proper 32-bit and 64-bit Vulkan libraries. If you skip architecture setup or mix repositories incorrectly, Vulkan support may be incomplete, leading to crashes or black screens. In 2026, many users don't even manually configure DXVK because it's often integrated automatically or managed through tools like Proton. But if you're installing Wine manually for non-Steam applications, having proper Vulkan libraries is still essential. Let's also talk about performance. A clean installation from the official repository avoids unnecessary legacy packages. Over time, Linux Mint systems can accumulate outdated libraries if users experiment with different PPAs. Installing Wine the correct way minimizes dependency conflicts and ensures your system stays optimized. There's also the matter of uninstalling and upgrading. When Wine is installed properly via WineHQ's repository, upgrades are straightforward. You just run a system update and Wine updates with it. If you installed Wine from a random .deb file downloaded somewhere, you might not receive updates automatically. That means you'll miss bug fixes and compatibility improvements. Compatibility in 2026 is dramatically better than it was 5 years ago. Many productivity apps, older Windows software, and even some newer tools work surprisingly well. However, certain applications require additional components like Visual C++ redistributables, Net Framework, or specific runtime libraries. Installing these inside a properly configured prefix is far easier than trying to fix a broken global installation. Tools like WineHQ still play a major role. WineHQ allows you to install common Windows runtime libraries into your prefix, but it assumes your base Wine installation is correct. If Wine was installed incorrectly, WineHQ may fail or behave unpredictably. Now, let's talk about why this matters specifically on Linux Mint 22.3. Linux. Mint is known for stability and user-friendliness. Many users choose it as their first Linux distribution after leaving Windows. These users often rely on Wine to run legacy applications they still need. A broken Wine setup can frustrate them and push them back to Windows. By installing Wine properly, you preserve the stability philosophy of Linux Mint. You avoid dependency hell, broken packages, and system instability. That means your desktop remains smooth, updates remain reliable, and you can confidently run Windows apps when needed. Another important aspect in 2026 is sandboxing and security. While Wine runs Windows applications, those applications can still access your user files. Installing Wine properly doesn't automatically sandbox applications, but a clean setup makes it easier to integrate tools like Flatpak-based Wine builds or containerized approaches later if needed. We also need to mention alternatives. Proton, which is developed by Valve, is optimized for gaming and integrated into Steam, but Proton is not a full replacement for Wine in every scenario. If you're running standalone Windows installers, custom software, or productivity apps, you'll likely use Wine directly. When you install Wine properly from WineHQ, you maintain compatibility with tools like Lutris, Bottles, and Play on Linux. These tools manage prefixes for you and simplify configuration. They rely on correct underlying Wine versions. If your base installation is outdated or mismatched, these tools can behave unpredictably. Bottles in particular has gained popularity by 2026 because it provides a clean graphical interface for managing isolated wine environments. But even Bottles benefits from having proper system architecture support enabled. Let's talk about long-term maintenance. Linux Mint 22.3 will receive updates for several years. During that time, Wine will continue evolving. Installing Wine properly ensures you can upgrade seamlessly without reinstalling everything. It keeps your system clean and future-proof. And here's something many people overlook: removing Wine cleanly. If you install Wine incorrectly and later want to remove it, leftover dependencies can remain. Installing via the proper repository ensures clean package management. You can purge Wine packages safely without damaging your system. Now imagine this scenario. You installed Wine from the default repository. Months later, you tried to install a modern Windows application built for Windows 11. It fails. You spend hours troubleshooting. You discover your Wine version is outdated. You add WineHQ later, but now you have conflicting packages. You must remove the old version, fix broken dependencies, and clean up architecture mismatches. This headache could have been avoided by doing it properly from day one. In 2026, Linux gaming and compatibility have matured significantly. Many users don't even dual boot anymore. Wine is part of that ecosystem. Installing it correctly is no longer optional if you want a smooth experience. Let's also discuss system performance impact. Wine itself doesn't slow down your Linux system when idle. But misconfigured installations can introduce unnecessary background services or library conflicts. A clean installation ensures minimal overhead. If you're running Linux Mint 22.3 on older hardware, efficiency matters. Proper installation means no unnecessary bloat. Wine only loads when needed, and your system resources remain available. There's also documentation. The official WineHQ site provides updated instructions tailored for Ubuntu-based systems. Since Linux Mint 22.3 is Ubuntu-based, those instructions apply almost directly. Following official documentation is always safer than copying random commands from forums. One more thing: multi-user systems. If multiple users on the same machine use Wine, a proper installation ensures shared system binaries, but separate user prefixes. This maintains privacy and separation between users. As we move further into 2026, Windows applications continue to evolve, but Linux compatibility is keeping pace. Wine developers are constantly improving support for modern APIs, graphics pipelines, and security models. Installing Wine properly ensures you benefit from those improvements. At the end of the day, installing Wine the proper way on Linux Mint 22.3 is about respecting your system. It's about stability, security, performance, and future-proofing. It's about avoiding shortcuts that create long-term problems. If you're serious about using Linux Mint as your daily driver and still need access to certain Windows applications, take the extra few minutes to do it right. Enable 32-bit architecture. Add the official WineHQ repository. Install the stable branch. Initialize Wine cleanly. Use separate prefixes when needed. Keep your system updated. Because in 2026, Linux is not just an alternative anymore. It's a primary operating system for millions of users. And Wine is one of the key bridges that makes that possible. So install it properly, keep it clean, keep it updated, and enjoy the best of both worlds without compromising your Linux Mint experience.